Pounders, what is up? Tonight, we're going to be talking a little bit about the new contest called the Eliminator, and Underdog had just released the Little Eliminator right after $1 filled. So keep your eye out for that. They just took it down as well. But I do want to cover, I was able to snag some of the details from the little one. But before we do, let's pull up the original one. This is called the Eliminator. It was a $50 tournament. It filled within 24 hours, 5,500 entrants. And basically, you have weekly winners, right? Which is like the ultimate ceiling contest. You're looking for the top 0.001% outcome every single week. This contest, you're just looking to survive, right? It's basically Survivor. And every single week, you're looking to outscore about 50% of the teams in order to advance. So a very interesting contest. This contest was created for Michael Pittman. I've never felt so good about drafting Michael Pittman. First off, is bye week 11 and just like the ultimate floor cat, right? So I thought that was funny for my shares. One mistake I do think Underdog made was they put this contest in with all the other contests. So they didn't separate it. So the ADPs will change in Bestball Mania, in the next puppy if they drop one, puppy when. So I do think that was a small mistake that they made. They should have separated because the ADPs are very much more different. So maybe that's why they took it down. We'll have to peek. If you guys see it come back up, let me know and we'll jump into one. I do want to cover a little bit about our first draft here in the contest still. So like, again, you're playing Survivor and it's week 8 is when you first get paid for this contest. Prime, what's going on? What's up? Jay Fresh and Ben. So week 8, I saw on the little eliminator, it said week 14. And that's a $6 entry, 93,000 entrants, 100K up top to first place, 50K to second, and 25K to third. So some of the points, like what should we be focusing? And I did make a little Twitter post about this earlier yesterday. And just some of the main points for this contest, stuff that stuck out to me right away. 3 tight ends and 3 QBs really feel the best right now, especially when the ADPs have not changed. And with 5,500 entrants and that contest being a part of Bestball Mania and all those other drafts, the ADPs aren't going to change that much from a 5,500 entrant contest. So you were still able to get those crazy values. That is going to be very important. If this contest opens under all of the other regular post-NFL draft, I think it's called, folder or whatever you want to call it, these ADPs aren't going to change a ton, but they will still be worth a whole hell of a lot. 3 tight ends. The reason for this is the scoring is relatively, it changes from week to week at tight end. We know that tight end 4 is just as good as tight end 18. Their scoring on a points per game basis is like around 1.1 points difference from like 5 to 18, something very small like that. 3 QBs, and especially late. Like, give me Daniel Jones as my first QB in this contest. And then let's pair that with Pickett and Purdy, or Carr and Purdy, or Purdy. All right, I might have a Purdy obsession. I like Pickett too, though, especially in this contest. By week 6 kind of offsets some of those other QBs. Now, elite QB might be a fade for me for this contest with bye week, and I'll show you why. With bye week 13, with bye week 10 for most of those elite QBs. And yes, Daniel Jones does have bye week 13. That's not the best. That is one that you don't want to stack too many bye week 13s, and we'll get further into that. I do want to pull up Dooley's advance rates here that he popped open pretty quickly after this contest opened. So this was for the first Eliminators contest. Week 1, 83% of teams move forward. You don't need to shoot for the ultimate ceiling to move forward. Um, so I think building around early running backs that have certain roles, uh, I think it's gonna be a little tougher to do that hero running back build where we're looking for injuries within the season. Um, and you're basically so, like, I want, like, AJ Dillon. I want the AJ Dillons. I want the Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinsons, people that have certain roles and they have certain touches every single week versus maybe some of the rookies that typically start slower. Uh, so that's, I think, an important roster construction point is making sure you're locking down your 4 starting running backs because the wide receivers get on the field. They're gonna have their spike weeks. So week 7, 63%, that's a big bye week, week 7. A lot of players, a lot of teams on buys. Same thing with week 10, 50% advance rate, 6 out of 12. And then week 13, 15 out of 31. This is the lowest advance rate of all of them. And this is the first eliminator. Mac, we're gonna be covering the little one as well. You get paid after week 8 in this. For the little eliminator, I saw it's gonna be week 14. Now that could be subject to change. They did take the contest down. Maybe they're tweaking some stuff. Maybe they're moving it into its own section, sort of like Weekly Winners has its own section, its own ADPs. This contest severely needs that. Otherwise, this will be super, super plus EV for those that know how to attack the ADPs in this contest. Um, yeah, so let's take a peek at this squad here. Let me make sure we got this pulled up on the right screen, unlike the other day. Okay, y'all see that? Good. So A Rich, which I want my first QB to be Dimes, he got sniped in like the 80s. A Rich, Pickett, and Purdy. I do like that. I do like that combo. I'm not gonna lie. You don't need the ultimate ceiling. And we know QBs, the way they score, every single week, it's a different QB in the top 5. And so many QBs hit the top 5 over the course of a season. You don't need the ultimate ceiling. You just need enough points from your QB position. And I think you can easily get there with 3 late guys every single week. Tyler Higbee, Knox, and Conklin. This group was actually relatively smart and sniping the late tight ends early, which is 100% what you should be doing. So we did have to make our reaches. Otherwise, we were going to get left in the dust at tight end. So maybe a little weak at tight end. It'll probably depend on Higbee if he can be Mr. Reliable again this season. Bijan, Damian Pierce, Isaiah Pacheco, Gibson, Ty Chandler. So really building around these 4 and look at the bye weeks spread out. It's going to be huge. You don't want, especially within the first 4, maybe 5 rounds, but especially the top 4 rounds. We don't wanna have 2 of our positional players out on bye week 5. If you're put in the wrong pod, like, even if you're not put in the wrong pod, your advance rates will take a hit because of that. So you do wanna be conscious, at least within your first 4 rounds will be what we're gonna stress because of the roster allocation, because of the draft capital spent. If you don't have those 2 first 4 picks, whatever, if it's a second and a fourth or a first and a third, a first and a second, that's going to be pain. That's going to be max pain. So I saw someone start Eckler Chubb the other day. I'm like, this team's dead. This team's dead week 5. They don't have a first round pick and a second round pick. It's going to be extremely hard to advance out of that pod. So wide receivers, Lamb, Metcalf, and we do get a small bump here with Metcalf. With the news about JSN's wrist, you're getting a boost here. So to get him after ADP was really nice in this contest. Debo, Pickens, Pittman. So we really leaned in to our early RBs and our early wide receivers here. We get Rashid Shaheed, who is a spike week guy, maybe not the most consistent, but he can spike in front of our studs. And we're going to rely this roster on these studs. And if Lamb has a bad game, I think it's actually interesting. We bring in Gallup to maybe help advance a low advance rate CeeDee Lamb. If it's not a Lamb game, maybe Gallup gets him through 1 week and we get rid of a lot of the Lamb lineups. I think something like that is very viable way of thinking for this contest, especially when it's cheap. I'm not gonna be doing that if it's early rounds, but if it's cheap like that, I like that idea. I don't mind if it's Bijan and Algier. I think that maybe you can have an Algier week where Bijan completely busts, or maybe he busts for a first round pick. Um, you could have something like that as well. So this was my first draft. We jumped into this last night, roughly an hour after it dropped, right after sort of brainstorming real quick how we were going to attack it, and I still think that this is the way I'm going to move forward with this. Leaning into those, like I said, leaning into those early RBs with high weekly floors, gonna be super important. Weeks 10, 13, and 7 are the weeks with most teams on bye, just something to note. Stacking isn't gonna be as important, and rookies and the suspended and hurt players take a huge hit in ADP depending on the rookie, especially if they don't have a role just yet. So let's see, is this contest, are they gonna open it in time for us to do another one? I hope they open it soon because I do wanna pop into one on stream. Let's go let's go over the second team. Let's see how that one came out. The second team, I believe I tried an elite QB and I hated it. So let's peek. Yeah, so I go Josh Allen in this one. It's tough. I think if you have a week where the QB scoring is relatively flat, right? The highest scoring QB on the week is 31, 32 points. It could be Goff at 27 points, and now you're only gaining 4 points by having Josh Allen, right? If the scoring is relatively flat, you have multiple QBs that get there. Josh Allen consistent, a lot of games over 25 points. Most games he plays are over 25 points. That's good for this contest. I'm worried about the allocation of funds. He's costing you an early third round pick. Can we survive that many weeks with that price, basically, because of the way QBs score and the way that those late QBs do eventually spike into the top 5. We stressed how many times those middle round QBs actually spiked into the top 3 and into the top 12, and we had a lot of surprise looks on our guest faces. So this one's built around CMC, Najee, and Connor. We go late with Lenny Fournette if he could find a role. Maybe he helps just kinda pad this team a little bit. It's gonna be built around these main 3, though. Every single week, different bye weeks, and wide receivers, Olave, Deontay Johnson, Sky Moore, Treylon Burks, Myers, Gallup, DPJ, and Hodgins. Basically making a bet on Burks' health for this one. Bye weeks are spread out, so there's no 1 week where we're super weak. Week 13, we have 2 people on bye. Week 7, we have 2 people on bye, but we still have plenty of receivers to get there. Kittle, Njoku, and Conklin. When I have Kittle, I'm still going 3 tight ends. I think you're going to need 3 tight ends with basically every single build. Maybe like Kelsey, what's it hurt to do 2 late QBs the last 2 rounds? If you have a week where Kelsey goes off for only 9 points, 10, 11 points, a lot of those Kelsey teams could fall off that week. And if you could advance him with a Tyler Conklin with a late pick, you could get rid of a lot of Kelsey teams that are left on any given week. So it's going to take the stars to align for everything to really align. And then your pods, you have to get lucky with the pods week after week. It adds another sweat. I do think this is super plus EV if you're drafting correctly. If the ADPs aren't changed and they put them in with this group right here with the post NFL draft ADPs, they're not going to change as much because of all those other drafts going on. There's still BBMs going on, so it's not going to change it. Now, if they separate it, you'll see the ADPs fly. They will go all over the board. If I were to make rankings, like Daniel Jones would probably be in the 80s. A lot of those QBs get pulled up. The Pickett's, the Purdy's, the Tannehills, all those QBs are going to get moved up several rounds. The tight ends, you could already see it in our drafts. You could already see it. Let's see if we can. So we go CMC, Olave, Josh Allen. Okay. Let's see where these. Juwan Johnson goes at 169. Luke Musgrave goes at 168. Everett, even people taking Greg Dolchich. So you could see these tight ends. So this was a relatively sharp room. Pickett goes at 134. So I did feel good about my team based on the room, but, yeah, those some of those contests, the early ones, when people are basically just drafting off vibes, good vibes and good times, that's when it's really time to hit those. If you guys have any questions, please just drop them in the chat. Mac, the Eliminator, the $50 contest dropped last night at what, 8:30 PM? It filled within a day. It's only 5,500 entrants, but a $50 entry fee, and then up top, you had 50K, 20K, 15, 10, and payout started week 8, and it's 17 rounds, so you don't need the ultimate upside. We're not playing for playoffs. It's basically just consistency, advance, have enough floor guys and a balance of spike week guys to be able to spike in front of your floor week guys in order to advance. So it's a very interesting type of contest. Prime said he did some and he likes it. Green Terry, I don't see it back up just yet. I would love for it to pop open in the next 10 minutes. 3 tight ends is a must. I completely agree with that. 4 tight ends is fine too. Give me Sam Howell, 100%, dirt cheap. I agree. I agree. Even Macaroni and Jones is fine. Doing your last eliminator draft, I want you to check it out. It's a little different. Post it in the Discord in the draft grade section, and we 100% will take a look at that. The buy-in for the little ones was $6 and 93,000 entrants, so much, much bigger. I took a quick screenshot of it, so I have it right here. 100K up top to first place, 50K to second, 25K to third, 20K to fourth, all the way down to a minimum payout of $12, which starts in week 14. So they get rid of a lot of the fields fast. So it goes from a $12 payout to 100 to 260 or even more. Who's the 5? 14, 15, 16, 17, so 4 weeks. And I think the last pod was 50 teams, which is a minimum payout of 1,500, so it's so fun. I wanted to get into a $50 one. We probably missed it by 20 minutes, but that's life with the kiddo. What's going on, my brother? Filled so fast. I didn't get an entry. I hit the little one, I guess, but would rather go with the higher stakes. Yeah. I'm done sorta if I can make the choice of lower stakes versus higher stakes. For me, it just comes down to time. Would I rather do 10 $5 drafts or one $50 draft? Like, I love drafting. Drafting's fun, and I like quantity as well. We have over 880 drafts this offseason, so I'm a fan of quantity, but, like, I didn't go over 70 on any of those puppies. So it's also being able to stay sane and hitting different ADPs in different contests at different points in the off season. And you'll see how every little tournament, if you go through your own tournaments, how every little tournament you should have a change of narrative for what was happening in that point of the off season. So it's very, very interesting. We were lucky. We did weeks. He's out. Same thing with Terry McLaurin. We have our Dotson bags packed. It's too bad injuries in the preseason. I usually get hit hard with them, like Tim Patrick 2 years in a row, but so is life. What are the weekly eliminations in the Lil Eliminator? That is the one thing I didn't get to pull up. They pulled it down before I got that info. If someone has that, I'd love to see it. And if you guys saw someone tweet it out, I'll pull it up on the Twitter machine if you guys can find that. Let me actually do a quick search, the little eliminator, and let's see if anyone posted it yet. Okay. Jewish McCaffrey said structure for the little eliminator is pretty awesome. Advance rates are more similar week to week, and payouts don't start until the last bye week, 14. Still have to navigate the bye weeks, but it's not as important as the first one. Love larger field size and smaller entry. And 33 minutes ago, the little eliminators under maintenance will be back soon. That's 30 minutes. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. No one got it, huh? I don't think anyone got the advance rates, or at least they didn't tweet them out if they did. It's back up on Underdog. Let's go. Let's go. We're jumping in. We're jumping in. Come on. Don't hype me up. Don't hype me up. Oh, baby. We're in, baby. Let's go. All right, payouts start week 9. Interesting because the one I screenshot said week 14, so they must have changed that. And is this contest where is this contest? Does it have its own ADP? It's gonna be interesting. It might. It might. Where are you? Where are you, little sucker? The little eliminator. We get the 3 spot right next to King of QC. Lucky. Any other pounders in here? All right. We'll see how lucky we got. Let's jump into a second one. We're going to jump into a second one. +4. And let's pull this up here. Let's do this. Let's go to drafts complete active. And let's pull up this one. All right, we're going to double table. Crash Rich is in this one. We get the 2 and 3 spot. What a spoon. What a spoon. Get the spoons out. Get the spoons out. All right, let's take a peek at the advance rates real quick. We're up in 2 picks here. I'm cool with this. I'm actually cool with putting CMC in front of Chase. Kelsey, I've seen him being taken at the 2 a lot. I would rather attack tight end in quantity than quality. Yeah, I'm cool with CMC going there. All right, let's pull up the advance rates. 10 out of 12, 8 out of 8. So 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, round 4, 8, 8, 6, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 6 out of 8. I love this. I love this. This is so much fun. We just got CMC. We just got Chase on the other board, I think. I have to really think about this one hard. I think I would prefer CMC over Chase. I think Chase is the ultimate upside play. Now you do have to start 3 receivers every week. But, I like CMC's bye week better than Chase too, having him bye week 7. How about week 7? Let's see week 7, week 10, and week 13. This is gonna be the most important because this is when a lot of the teams run by. So week 7 is 6 out of 8. Week 10 and week 13, 7 and 6. Week 10 is 5 out of 7, and week 13 is 3 out of 6, 50%. 14 is gonna be 3 out of 6, 3, 3, 3 out of 6, 3 out of 6. So I don't believe there's anything under I don't believe there's anything under 50%. Round 9 is 7. Yeah, there's nothing under 50%. Week 10 does get a small boost here. So week 10, it's not as bad in this contest as it is the first one. 5 out of 7. Interesting. It does make a pretty big difference. We get Chase here. So go CMC in the other board. And we'll see if people are adjusting their rankings or not. See, I don't love this. I don't love this at all. That's gonna be incredibly tough to get through that bye week. Let's go Olave here. I'm an RB piggy. Me too. I would go Derrick Henry here if Chase didn't have a bye week 7, without a doubt. Let's see some of these builds. And basically, those first 4 rounds, if you have a double bye week, could you get through? Yeah. It's gonna be incredibly difficult, and it's gonna come down to your pod and luck, and I don't think I wanna do that. 20 max entries? Oh, man, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. 20 max. Alright, I don't mind that, but shit, open a second one. I like this contest. It's just something different, and when you can have this early advantage, I think that's the best time to draft, the early ADP advantage. Let me see, I wanted to check if it's going to be I wonder if this is gonna have its own ADP. Does anyone know that yet? I don't think we know until it completes. I'll go RBRB here pretty easily. We're on the clock here. Taylor's fine. I just luckily clicked off of Taylor. I didn't want 2 people with bye week 11. Last second click on Mark Andrews. J Let's go Devonta Smith here. I don't mind one of these 2. I also don't mind reaching up maybe for Josh Jacobs. I don't mind DK too. Probably want a second receiver in this range. With having CMC for this build, he goes Gibbs at 24. Interesting. That mean he's not going Ridley? Ridley is week 9. Don't wanna match it with CMC. Losing 2 of your first 3-round picks, just gonna put you at a huge disadvantage for that week. He goes off the board anyways. I think who do we give the boost to right now? With the JSN injury. It is intriguing, to say the least. I'm almost tempted to do this. If JSN misses 4 weeks, Adam says DK too. Lockett gets the bigger boost? I don't think so. I think DK is actually heavily reliant on volume, where Lockett, he could break off 2 touchdowns in 4 catches. He's not, like, a huge volume guy, although, like, he was very consistent last season. Very consistent. Alright, well, we were gonna attack the late tight end strategy. I guess we'll do that on the other board. That last second I saw JT had the same bye week as Olave, and I had to click off it. It could have been anyone. Could have been anyone. What's funny is, like, this contest was created for, like, Najee Harris and Michael Pittman and Deontay Johnson. This is the Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman contest. Just floor. Consistency, floor. We'll see if, Pittman's consistent with the rookie QB. Yet to be proven. Yeah, I said that last night in Discord. Here, I definitely wanna be bringing in my first RB. Um, Both of these bye weeks are good for us. I mean, I don't see a harm going with ETN here. When you have a 50-50 split decision, what I'm gonna base mine off of is not that it's a big deal to min cash, but I'm gonna take the guy that goes after week 8. If we cash at week 8, week 9, payouts begin here. So, yeah. So you have to make it through the first 8 weeks. I think if you have a 50-50 decision, like ETN versus Harris, I think that's a complete fine way to, flip that coin. Terry's gotta take a huge hit here too. This might be K Walker or Aaron Jones. Yeah, I'm gonna max this 100%. I'll probably if you guys wanna draft me off stream too, jump in our Discord. If someone wants to link the Discord, I can in a minute here. Um, I like RBs in that range too. Let's bring in Ayuk. Similar bye week, but I think we can get through. I just wanna get my 3rd receiver in this range where I think it sorta dips off, and I can still draft running backs I love in this range. Like, we're gonna miss out on this whole crew right here. We'll be lucky if we get Dotson to come back to us at 72. So that's the way I look at that one. Dotson would be perfect for this team. Week 14 bye, and then we have to drag in a bunch of RBs. And then we'll go 3 late QBs. Doesn't have to be stacked, but it's never a bad thing to bet on an offense, especially, like, if it's you're not reaching. Now, what is reaching in this contest because the ADPs are, not the sharpest, obviously, at open. This is where you take advantage. Crash Rich with the Cooper Kupp, Jalen Hurts, JT, and Christian Watson start. Very nice. Watson's gonna be more of that spike week guy. We'll see if he can be consistent as well. I'm basically between I think we bring Aaron Jones in first, which is kinda gross. Does this guy need reason being, like, K Walker has a similar bye week, and if we don't get Drake London, can we go D-Hop, right? So this is sorta what's going through my brain. Deontay Johnson's not a bad pick too. I similar bye week, but again, I think you can start bending the rules round 5 and up. Yeah, Drake London off the board. We could also bump up Tyler Lockett as well, but we have DK, so we can't for this team, but I think you can bump up Tyler Lockett with the JSN news. I think I'm just going Deontay Johnson here. Similar bye week, but it's fine. Outside of round 4, I'm gonna start to bend the rules a little bit. So we do get Dotson to fall back to us. This is gonna fit really well for this team, especially with the Terry McLaurin news. He should be going early. He should be going early. Crazy, 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 crazy. And now we get to pick from this RB pool, which is like, yeah, give me Cam Akers, different bye week, and uh, I'm cool with Cam. Javante's like risky in my opinion for this contest. We can't go David Montgomery. We could go James Conner. I think James Cook was an option too, but he gets slipped off the board. We could go DeAndre Swift too, or we go Rashad White. And you think about Rashad White, this is also like a Rashad White contest too, if you expect him to be consistent, which it's not looking like he has much competition there. Although Sean Tucker, rookie, having good preseason game. Yeah, collector, we need Dooley to make it a little eliminator chart now. It's 50% and above, which is really good. But yeah, he'll be making that chart soon. He should be jumping on a stream with us sometime soon too. It's always fun to have him on. Couple 2 tree beers, couple 2 tree takes. So Akers goes off the board. I think you just go with the guy who you think's gonna be the most consistent and score the most points, and in my opinion, week to week, I think that's gonna be James Conner. Okay, so far so good on that board. This one, we're up in how many picks? Like 11 picks. And what range are we looking at? 71 to 74. 71 to 74. We're looking at Gabe Davis. Is he going to be consistent this year, you guys think? uh, Pittman's here too. Honestly, I would probably do this. This is tricky. I'd have to think about this one a little longer. Um, Maybe because of our roster construction where we already have a floor guy, we would put Gabe Davis over Pittman in this current situation. And then, I mean, if Pierce makes it back to us, which I highly doubt, we could go Cam Akers. We also don't have to force another RB. We could go wide receiver, and then 95, 98 could be RB, 95, 98. And I'm fine with clicking like Antonio Gibson and Zach Charbonnet, 14 and 5. Small reach up, should be able to get both of them. So if we go wide receiver here, I don't think we have to reach on one of these RBs like Montgomery, who's going to have a similar bye week to McCaffrey. T Law off the board, Kittle off the board. This guy going elite tight end strategy, grabbing 2 with TJ Hawk and Kittle. It's interesting, right? There's so many different strategies that could work. I'm not going to love the double elite tight end, but I think in this format, you could make a case for, and not right now, like when ADPs get sharp, when they get sharp and they're adjusted and the late tight ends, late QBs rise, I think you can make a case for double elite QB. I never thought I'd say that before. Um, this range is pretty gross. We have Elijah Moore, who has a different bye week. I'm fine with that click. I'm also fine with bringing in another running back too. And it would probably be Dylan. Let's go Elijah Moore first. We're on the clock here, which is gross. We get Jahan Dawson to fall to us. What a dream. Both teams. What a dream. Someone pinch me. Someone wake me up. Yes, thank you, Alpha. Says 25 watchers, drop a like, pounders. If you guys are enjoying the live stream, go down, smash the like button. Hit the subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're going to be making fantasy football content all season long. Battle Royales are right around the corner. I have to reclaim my throne from the Week 18 takedown. We could make a bet on the offense here with Pickens. And I don't think it's too much draft fuck. Having 3 is tough. If we didn't have Aaron Jones, I would say that's pretty easy. I'm going to bump Addison down a little bit. Could go James Conner here or Pittman. Let's go James Conner. We're back on this side of the board. We do get AJ Dillon to fall to us, which is huge for the bye week bros. Huge for the bye week bros in the chat. This team's shaping. This team's shaping. Now you do need Mark Andrews to be consistent, and that scares me the most. With the roster allocation, the draft capital you're spending on tight end, that one bad week they have where like Juwan Johnson goes off, like, and they have that 3rd round pick. Now the pods are smaller in this one. So I do think it's going to depend on the pods. A lot of it's going to depend on the pods. We're still gonna go 3 tight ends. Hopefully, we can get some of our late guys that we like. But, yeah, you have to be able to offset those weeks where Mark Andrews has a flat week, where he goes for 8 points or 10 points, and that happens quite a bit. Let's pull up Mark Andrews, Fantasy Pros, and we can check the game log from last season. Sorry if this blinds you. 7 points, week 1. 2 points, week 4. Point 4 points. So this must be the game he went down with that shoulder injury. But then 4 points. So he has his flat weeks. And then after that, you can't look at it because Lamar wasn't playing. I think it's not good data. Um, it's gonna depend. Is he gonna have that season where Lamar was MVP? Or and even then, like, they do have these games where they disappear or it's a flat scoring week for tight ends. So you have to be able to kind of overcome those weeks. So I think 3 tight ends is still gonna be the answer. Now, if we go like Mark Andrews and TJ Hawk, like, I'm not pulling in another tight end or even Mark Andrews and well, you wouldn't go Waller because they have the same bye week. Mark Andrews and Dallas Goedert, I'm not going 3, but even if we grab David Njoku, I'd probably still go 3, and not that I like that combo. I think that might be still a little too much roster allocation for tight end, where it's so sporadic. Tight end 5 to, 18, 20 are basically the same guy on a week-to-week basis, fantasy points per game, give or take a point and a half. So give me guys in this range and give me multiple. We're not looking for ultimate ceiling for the long course of the season. We are just looking for consistency with spike potential. But I think this is a super strong start over here too. Super strong start. Staggered bye weeks will be elite and consistent running backs. Scoot says, "I would say the 0 RB targets aren't as valuable." No, I don't like 0 RB in this. Alright, we get kind of jumped over here. Rodgers is on the board. I might scoop my first QB here. Let's go with Goff. Bring in the first QB. Over here, we can bet on the injury, not as bad as we think. We can go Bateman too. Bateman and then probably hopefully bring in like Charbonnet. We might let this run out so we can think about it. Definitely want Bateman here. And I don't mind grabbing another. Yeah, let's go Bateman. Could go Charbonnet and Pat Freiermuth. Thinking about that as well. Where did Danny Dimes go in this contest? Deshaun Watson, Tua. Where did Jones go? Jones went at 110. That's a value. Honestly, here, like, we could go Daniel Jones here, and I'd feel really good about this too as our first QB. Let's go Jones here. I still think he's a value at 98. I'm not too worried about where other teams got players as well. Like, ADP's not going to matter as much because you're not battling 400 teams at the end where maybe they got Daniel Jones 10 picks later. You're not worried about that as much. Few bye week 9s. Go 7. Go Juju. Let's go Juju here. So for this team, we're looking at a 1-3-6-1 build. We need to still pop off some more running backs. I do feel good about getting that first QB in that Goff to Daniel Jones range. When I'm going 3 QB builds, that's like the area I wanna target. Consistent, should have another good offense, same thing with Daniel Jones. Consistent, and that's what you're looking for. Like Kirk Cousins, consistent. Doesn't spike into the top 3 often, yet top 3 finish last season, but a ton of top 12 finishes. Goff had like 4 or 5 top 3 finishes last year, and then Daniel Jones, I believe, had 3 top 3 finishes. In only one of those games, I believe he threw for over 200 yards, so he gets there on the ground. This team's significantly stronger than my other team. We got Mark Andrews, though. I still don't love playing around elite tight ends. I don't like playing around elite QBs. It's gonna be rare. We'll have one in the portfolio. Farm is such a value. Where the hell is Njoku still on the board? Oh, Njoku's still on the board. If Njoku comes back to us, we'll scoop Njoku for this team. So many ranges of outcomes for Rashad Penny. It's funny how he's dropping. This team's still fine. Like, I'm very strong at receiver. We're strong at tight end. This team should be good. Now we need to add QBs. We might just have to ignore ADP. The teams in front of me both have 2 QBs, so I don't think they're gonna be reaching up. But we might have to just snag them anyways. If Carr goes, we'll just go pick it. Different bye weeks. I think this is gonna work out just fine. He goes Laporta. I think we do bring in Raheem here. And then we'll go Carr or Pickett. I don't care that Pickett's not correlated. Carr would be correlated. Not a big deal that it is correlated, but it's never a bad thing to bet on an offense. That's sort of the way I see it. This side over here, we can't go Kirk. I'm cool with going Jared Goof. I'm definitely cool with going Jared Goof here. The question is there a running back that we want so badly? Like, even Warren has the same bye week, but I'm not as concerned about that. Let's go Goff. I think our pick would be Warren here. I don't want reason I wouldn't go P Ryan. I want someone to cover for CMC's bye week. I really don't want to have too many bye week 9s. And then every week other than bye week 9, I want to rely on CMC getting us through to the next round. So he goes Pickett super ahead of ADP, and we will go Carr. We'll see if Juwan Johnson makes it back to us. I think that's going to take a miracle. He does go Cousins. I just want to snag the second QB because look, you don't know when there's going to be a run on QB. Here goes Purdy. He goes 15 picks before ADP. Here goes Pickett. He goes 16, 17 picks before ADP. We get Carr basically right at ADP. Feels really, really good. I'm Warren over P Ryan because of the bye week. I would rather have 2 bye week 6s and have Connor and McCaffrey playing than the opposite. So let's go Warren. On CMC's bye week, we do have 3 viable RBs. Small stuff like that, I think is gonna help people advance. Small tips and tricks like that. Jeff, welcome to the live stream. What's going on, my buddy? Just pound the like, people. Slap that like. Hit subscribe if you guys enjoying the content. We're still gonna do a 24-hour live stream if we could reach 1,000 subscribers before NFL kickoff. That bet is still on the table. That bet is still on the table. You do get a run at RBs here. I worry about Jamal Williams a little bit for the end of the season. I think his role could be smaller than what Jalen Warren's role could be, especially with the rookie, especially with Kamara coming back. Jalen Warren, his role might increase. You could have an injury to Najee. Yeah, you could have an injury to Kamara. You could say the same thing about here, but there's 3 running backs in this backfield versus 2 in this one, and we know how much they use Najee as well. New Orleans kind of scares me a little bit. All right. This one's going to be maybe 3 or 4 tight ends is what I'm kind of calculating right now. RBs that could help this room. Anyone want me to click Zeke? I mean, if this guy gets 7 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns this year, he likely outpays this ADP. Singletary goes late. He'll have a role. Oh, we're on the clock. God damn it. Can't leave the draft board open. We can't go Komet here. It's an absolute cannot. Do we have Mostert here? We do. I don't know how big a deal it is to go 2 in the same offense and just get all those touchdowns. I don't think this is the craziest thing in the world. Juwan Johnson did go off the board. We might just scoop Dolchich. When people get afraid of players like this, we're usually taking them. I think it's fine to handcuff too. You're not looking for single game upside. We don't have a dead roster spot. We just secured all the touchdowns basically in Miami besides A-Chains on the ground. So 1 week if it's Mostert, 1 week if it's Jeff Wilson. I think that's fine. All right, I think we're going Dolchich here. Different bye week. And then if I add like Hunter Henry to this group, I'm happy with it. We'll see what comes back for QBs over there. Is Howell already off the board? What sickos are drafting Howell at like 150? Where are you? Show yourself. Bond. Show yourself. Sickos. Sicko. I do try to push ADP a little bit. Now I know these ADPs are going to change if the contest is separate. If it's separate. If it has its own folder. All right, we need to grab our first tight end. We can grab 2 tight ends in this range too. I don't really need a running back right here. This would solidify our room, and I don't need to go RB. I do need to double tap tight end. Otherwise, I think I'm going to fall behind. I think we have to double tap tight end. I'm cool with one of these 2 coming back to us. 5 and 11. Yeah, I don't feel the need to go Sam Laporta. Juwan Johnson gets sniped. I guess he makes our decision easy for us. So we bring in 2 tight ends. That's funny. Everyone was so off Juwan Johnson, and we just kept drafting him. We have 24% in Bestball Mania. It better not be down. I think it might be down at 23%, which is sad. Nope, still at 24. Let's go. Let's go. That's disgusting. All right, this room's looking better. I'm feeling better about my RBs. The question is, will our guy make it back to us at 190? Those RBs go off, which isn't surprising. This team, we have 5 wide receivers, so we still need to bring in some of those spike guys. We're probably gonna be looking at something like this. Oh, Tannehill goes off the board. God damn. God damn. Stroud, Ritter. I know we're gonna have to rely on Jared Goff for week 11. Who does Detroit play week 11? Who does Detroit play week 11? Oh, the Bears. The fantasy gods have blessed us. The fantasy gods have blessed us with schedule luck. We love that. We love that. And we're probably slapping a receiver in this range, right? Curtis Samuel definitely should be getting. Let's see. See what King of QC does. He goes Campbell. I think we have to boost up Curtis Samuel, especially with the news about. We have Dotson. I don't completely hate it. I think he does get a bump though with the Terry injury, and we get him 17 picks after ADP. Just mind blown. Mind absolutely blown. If you guys haven't already, you just get in here, go down, drop a like on the live stream. If you want to join these live drafts with us, hit the bell for notifications. Of course, slap the subscribe button. Jordan Love, Kyler off the board. So QBs kind of going more based on ADP in this room. Very close to ADP in this room. And we're looking to grab one more of these QBs, preferably Purdy because of the bye weeks. Otherwise, we would probably go Pickett in front of Purdy. I mean, we had to go Pickett anyways, so he was bye week 6. We could go Sam Howell too. I would have liked Jake Ferguson for this team. I do need a receiver though too. So like where we have options at receiver, I'm tempted to just. So can we rely on Daniel Jones for week 9? I think he can. This might be a 4 tight end team, to be honest. We're just gonna rely on Daniel Jones for week 9. And this is the stuff that you could be Googling, like New York Giants, week 9. They play the Raiders. That's another really, really lucky matchup. That's another really, really lucky. And again, you don't need to shoot for the ultimate ceiling. We just need to get in the top 50%. Adam says Underdog should make it so when you go to your exposures and click on a certain player, you can see all the teams you drafted that player on. Yeah, Fantasy Life has a free thing where you can kind of download your stuff right onto there. Sometimes it's a little finicky. Week 11, just a complete unique bye week from all the positional players for Alec Pierce. You know I'm bringing in Alec Pierce. You know I'm bringing in Alec Pierce. You guys can't let me get Rashid Shaheed here. You can't let me get Rashid Shaheed. We have 2 bye week 11 guys. Does that matter? I think it does. 13. We have no one with 13. I think that besides how many rounds do we have left? This is the last round. Ugh. I think it has to be a tight end. It has to be a tight end. Who helps you advance more? Slayton, like in this group, and we just got Curtis Samuel 17 picks after ADP. You have to account for that as well. Who helps you advance more? Like it has to be the tight end. It has to be. If you have 2 low scoring weeks for Andrews and Dolchich, you get McBride to get you 6 points when these guys bust, like for 0 or 2. That extra 4 points could be the difference. Otten's fine. I'm fine with the Otten click scoot. I contemplated it. I'm fine with this as well. All right. So that room drafted so fast. I loved that draft. Like that was a speed draft. Absolute speed draft. 26 people in the live stream, 16 likes. Guys, go down. Do me a favor. Smash the like button for me. Jones, Goff, Purdy, CMC, Jones, Connor, Jalen Warren, Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, Deontay Johnson, Jahan Dotson, Rashad Bateman, Alec Pierce, Chiggy, Gerald Everett. We'll just add some people to the queue here. The second I click Hunter Henry, poof, poof, just exploded. Gone from existence. Damn it. All right. We're up in 8 picks. Oh, man. I would like to get 2 of these players. That seems highly unlikely. We'll add Devontae Parker. Gone. What are these guys? Patriots fans? Get these guys out of here. Should Shaheed gone? We could add Paris Campbell. We can add these guys to the queue as well. We could add Richie James. Could add Hardman. You could add Claypool down here. You could add Matt Collins easily. Easily. Corey Davis retired. We end up with under 1% Corey Davis. You could add Josh Reynolds super easily. Super easily. Josh Reynolds. Probably a sleeper in this format, to be honest. If Burke's injury is bad, you could bump up Nick Westbrook, but it doesn't appear it's going to be a long-term injury. What do we need more here? And what sucks is, yeah, I had a feeling he was going to go comp in there. We got to run it tight end right before our pick. It's got to be 4 tight ends. So, fuck. Can we rely on those receivers? We're gonna go Kareem Hunt. If Hunt ends up in, like, Indy or somewhere crazy or even in, like, Minnesota, there's some really good landing spots for Hunt. Alright, scratch that plan. We're sticking with this. Devonta Smith, Metcalf, Deontay Johnson, Jahan Dotson, Bateman, and Alec Pierce. Seems thin, but they all have different bye weeks, which is so good. Every single week, we will have 5 of those guys playing. I'm trying to sell it. I still don't love it. I like this draft better. Alright, let me see. Did this draft go under yeah, this is gonna be paired in with the Best Ball Mania ADPs. So weird. Bye week 7, 5. Do we rely just on these 3 tight ends? We would basically be relying on Chiggy being a more consistent option. Who's gonna help us the most? That's what it's gonna come down to. Who's left on the board and who can help us the most? So, like, Hardman goes off. Hardman's a great pick, especially right now with the retiring Corey Davis. And then Alan Lazard also should get a small boost where he's not gonna lose his job to Corey Davis from dropping every single ball in practice. Definitely good news for Lazard. I will more confidently pick him 5 picks after ADP. Still not gonna be a hashtag my guy, but some of these drafts, you're gonna end up with a strong team, and then some of them you might not like as much. I'm not gonna like this one as much. No matter if this is a tight end or a receiver, I don't think I'll like this draft, and that's okay. Just depends on what kind of room you're in. The thing is you only have to finish in the top 50% plus. ETN, Connor, AJ Dillon, Miami's running backs. Chase, Olave, Ayuk, Dawson, Moore. Like, this team ended up strong. This team ended up very strong. Where's Lucky? He said he's happy with his draft. Let's pull up Lucky's. Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, and Dak. Jesus. Everett, Ferguson, and Henry. You smashed the tight ends, my friend. You smashed the tight ends. Eckler, Barkley, Stevenson, Singletary, yeah, double elite, RB early, and then wide receiver. You're gonna get knocked out at wide receiver position. You're gonna get knocked out at the wide receiver position. If you're gonna go double elite, like, you have to lean into those. You can't go Dak. Or this can be like a Sam Howell, or this can be like a Desmond Ritter last pick, but, you can't afford to go Dak there. Even if Michael Wilson is a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, and then Quinn Johnson's a wide receiver 2, I still think you have a tough time filling 3 spots every single week. You did a good job with the bye weeks. Only bye week 5 do you have 2 people on bye, but now you're fighting bye week 5 with just this group. I think that's gonna be tough. CSM Trucking says pick 2. You pick King of QC? I know King of QC's a pounder. Josh Allen, Rodgers, and Pickett. I like that pairing. Ingram, Knox. and Kate Otten. That pairing's good as well. CMC, Harris, Cook, Kendra Miller, and Chuba Hubbard. I'm cool with this group. I think it's fine. All different bye weeks. All different bye weeks all around. Smith, Deontay Johnson, Pittman, Sutton, Lazard, Moore, and Campbell. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Yeah, definitely an interesting squad. Elite at tight end or elite at QB, strong at tight end, strong at running back. Even on CMC's bye week, week 9, you could assume that Kendra will have a role. So I think he makes sense for this roster construction. And then Najee and Cook, obviously leaning heavily into them. Only 2 people on bye week 13, which is nice because that's when your most elite player is. And then week 9 with CMC, you only have Sutton and you have Ingram. All right, we're on the clock. Our last pick, I think we're going Cole Turner here. I don't like Gesicki. We can go Durham too. Week 14, can we rely on these 2 tight ends? I think that's fine. I think that's fine. All right, this team ends up with Daniel Jones, Goff, and Purdy. Very strong at QB. Very happy how this came out. If we got Knox to fall to us, we're definitely stopping at 3 tight ends. He goes off 2 picks before to Rico. There's a nice little snipe there. Nice little snipe. We stop with 3 there. Chiggy, Everett, and Knox, and we call it a day. And then we're bringing in another receiver. But I think we can definitely lean into this group. Different bye weeks every single week. We'll have 5 every single week. Again, the stars have to align anyways for this type of contest. Super fun. We're gonna be doing more of these. We're gonna be bringing in guests as well, so keep your eye out. Smash the bell for notifications. I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Fun couple drafts. If you wanna draft with me in and the Pounders on, like, offline, off the YouTube machine, join the Discord. The link is in the description. I just put the link in the chat. Again, if you enjoyed, slap the like on the way out, slap the subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Pounders.